Welcome to Collecting Consciousness, where we aim to capture the ever-expanding and evolving conscious creations that originate from the minds of fellow podcasters, strangers, dear friends, and loved ones.
In this podcast, we will expand on our inner wisdom and a coming home to self. From our conscious minds to yours, we welcome you to the Collecting Consciousness. Welcome into another episode of Collecting Consciousness. This is the continuance of the Burlesque series. I hope you've been enjoying it so far, getting into the spice, getting into the layers of who these performers are. I am so excited. Bethany's so excited. We are so excited to bring on this new guest today words. For nearly 2 years, Amber Oleander has been pulling audiences into a world where beauty and danger collide. Like the oleander flower, delicate but dangerously toxic, her performances mixed with elegance with something a little more twisted. She loves playing with that fine line between attraction and discomfort, making you question why you're turned on by something that should be anything but. Guns, bodies, hunger, nothing is off limits. The real magic isn't just what she does on stage, but how it lingers in your head long after the lights go down. Welcome, Amber Oleander.
Wow.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Can I just say I got chills up my whole body during that? I was like literally like just chills up my right leg, down my left leg, like all over. Like, whoa. Like I think that you do activate something. I told you that after the show. I said you activate that piece of us that we don't know we're in touch with, but it's there. And it's like I just felt it. I was like, I just got that activation. I was like, whoa.
That's powerful.
It's powerful. You're doing it. Yeah.
I'm so glad to hear when audiences understand, like audience members understand what I'm trying to do, because it's not always easy looking at someone's reaction to me that they kind of get it. But I think the people that really understand, they feel it so deeply. And hearing from audience members when they come out to me after the show and talk about how they love that I did necro or gunplay or things that are a bit more dangerous, just it thrills me as a performer.
That's a layer right in there. Has that always been with you since the start of your burlesque, or has it been something that you've let come out like a flower that is just like blooming?
Yeah, interestingly, when I was picking my burlesque persona, I was playing with names for a really long time, but then I love the idea of the oleander flower being beautiful but incredibly toxic. All parts of the oleander plant are toxic, even the stems. Handling it can make you very sick. So I love that for my burlesque persona, but didn't quite clue into where I would have gone with that. But it was such a natural progression. I picked that name, and as I started uncovering who this person was on stage, it just became really clear to me that that was the underlying presence of who I was supposed to evolve as on stage. And being that, just, I don't know, it just makes me feel so good on stage. I feel so elevated and excited after every performance.
Honestly, like, it's letting yourself out and seeing what comes out with it. Me and you at the show, we were just like, elevation. We are all elevating. Like, we'd look at each other. We're like, totally. No, we're not the same after this performance.
I know. And I really wasn't. I felt like I was being lifted up. Like I was just entering some sort of portal of elevation during that performance. And I really haven't felt the same since, which is, I think people that understand what that feeling is like will really align with that message. But saying I just haven't felt the same in such a good way. Like I feel like I've elevated who I am as a performer, who I am as a person. And I know when I mentioned about elevation backstage and you and I really connected on that, that was a magical moment.
Yeah, I feel it too. I'm not the same person from that show. Like continuing just like, but like when you can tap into that and know that, hey guys, lean into your arts, lean into the things that make you feel really lit up, because that's only going to allow you to continue to grow and evolve and see new facets of yourself. And we never go back to that same person. I guess, yeah, you can stay in these same things, but if you do have that desire to evolve, well, then they're always you're always growing, you're always shifting, and it's always for your highest good. It's always so you can be the highest version of yourself, and nothing can fucking stop us.
Right. I love that. Yes, exactly.
Cheers. Cheers to elevation.
Cheers. Totally. Cheers. I just want to give a little context to everybody that's like listening just a little bit. Like, so Amber's performance like could have been taken as one of the more what's the word? I don't want to say edgy, but like, you know, controversial performances of the night. Like, it had a little disclaimer before it, like public service announcement. If anybody's uncomfortable with firearms, which like all of us were like, what is going on now? And you know, like, I don't know, it's funny, like I'm from the States, I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, firearms, but I get people are uncomfortable with that, you know, a little bit. And it was like, and your performance was that like you had a gun that was involved, and it was like, I mean, it could have been taken very controversially, and it could have, no pun intended, triggered many people. And so like for you to channel that act, come up with that act, like where does that come from? Where is that inside of you? Like what is the muse behind that, you know?
That specific act was inspired by a book called Haunting Adeline, which is about a woman who has a stalker who ends up using a gun as a sexual prop on her. And I was reading that book thinking, this is so erotic in a book. Would this be something a person would want to experiment with in person, like in an interaction with another person? And I love that, like, my bio towing the line between those things. So that's what really drew that to the stage. And it's been something I've been working on for a while now. I was really nervous that people wouldn't get it. Like they wouldn't understand what I was doing, that I was just deliberately controversial, but without any deeper message. Wasn't the case. People loved it, so that was good. But that particular act was inspired by a book. My acts themselves, I think, I don't know, about 2 or 3 years ago, I said to myself, if 15-year-old me doesn't want it, I don't want it. And I think I've just been going on this like unconscious journey of healing that inner 15-year-old in me. And even the music I chose for that act was music I listened to when I was that age. And that's something I learned about myself as a persona too, is throughout my journey, is I keep tapping into that person I was, and I'm inspired by myself and who I was at that time. Like it's just this way of honoring that 15-year-old in me.
Truly healing. Truly healing. Wow.
I have a question. When you say that 15-year-old, like what was that, the 15-year-old, is that like the last point you remember being like in touch with your true self before you got like lost in life? Or like give us the like intersection of, or the fork in the road at 15, that why that's so special to you, like why that's your inspiration?
That's an interesting question, and I only just started to understand why that was such a prevalent force in my creativity. But excuse me, when I was 15 years old, I was sexually assaulted, and right when I started this burlesque journey, I went and I made the report to the police. So these things were happening in parallel. I went to the police to make the report on this assault, and then I got into burlesque. And it was like these parallel lines of my life that were happening at that exact same time. And only about 3 weeks ago did I clue in that the honoring of that person through burlesque was something that was completely, like, it's so obvious to me looking back, but at the time it wasn't. And I think it was just this form of going back and just like deliberately healing in this subconscious way, which sounds like an oxymoron, but yeah, that's kind of, I might have lost track of your original question, but that's really where I am right now.
And so you've been into burlesque since you were 15? No. Okay. All right. I lost the timeline. So, okay, gotcha. So when you started Burlesque 2 or 3 years ago,
yes,
back in time, and you filed that report. Wow, that's crazy.
Yes.
I mean, that's really like powerful for you to relook at that piece of your life in such a raw way. Yeah. So like they were happening parallel, but making the correlation. Do you feel like Burlesque like brought this courage out in you, or like what would you tap into in this world?
I think it brought the inspiration out in me to do that sort of stuff. But no, I don't know that it was as obvious as that, but like the making the report and going to court and all of that stuff was parallel to me performing. So
wow.
Yeah, did that answer your question?
Yeah. I'm a curious mind. I'm just digging.
No,
slash therapy session. No, so
but I do feel like it gives you that Burlesque gives you that empowerment to be able to say like, fuck you. I'm standing true for me. I'm speaking up for me. Like this is who I am. And I'm being strong in my energy, and it gives me the courage, it gives me the strength, it gives me that rebellion to speak out on that. So thank you for, really finding words. Thank you for allowing that 15-year-old to be seen, because in that moment, she was like a power was taken away from her, and you're bringing that power back.
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but that's what that kind of feels like to me, is that you're being there for her. You, like you said, you're healing for her, and you're showing up and being that savior.
Yeah. And I think a lot of what Burlesque kind of has taught me is right around that time. And I made the report, and I had to go to court and testify right around that time. And I was doing Burlesque. I kept having this overarching worry that they would discredit me because of what I was doing in performance. And I think a lot of people who have experienced any type of crime or assault specifically, and the way that we devalue women and point out that they were wearing this certain thing, they must have been asking for it. So that was an interesting thing that I had to kind of just let go and say, I am a credible performer and I'm an artist, and this has nothing to do with the other thing. But so many people, I think, might point to that and say, well, obviously this person wants attention in some way. So I had to have this mental exercise all the time before I went out and before I performed, that this would not stop anything. And then in the end, I just said, no matter what happens, it doesn't matter. It's out of my hands, but all I can do is just live authentically and just perform authentically. And if somebody discredits me because of that, then that's the way the cards are going to fall, and I have no control over it anyway, but I can't make myself small ever again. And so like that journey, like I really learned a lot about myself in that way, like as my personal self and my persona, just like we're just holding our hands, like my persona and me just holding our hands all the time, just trying to figure out what's gonna work.
Wow, beautiful. Yes.
Yeah. Go. You go.
Okay, it is just like on that one note of that victim shaming and that mental sabotage or that mental torture that can happen, because like oftentimes it is, oh, well, she was wearing this, so she was asking for that, or no, she does burlesque, so again, it is that's attention seeking.
Yeah.
But really going hand in hand, being like, we're okay. We are okay. Even if there's still, that hindrance or that feeling scared, all we can do is just show up for ourselves. That allows us to show up for others, but like showing up and knowing that this is true in my story. They are allowed to think that, but I know my truth, and it's not going to allow me to stay small.
Absolutely. I agree.
I look forward to just seeing where this journey of yours will continue to grow and evolve as you continue to get down into the layers and the deepenings of your soul. It's exciting.
I'm excited, and it's funny when I think about certain acts I've had. I feel like this. Like we talk about alignment, you and I a lot, but this alignment of like which part of me is going to come forward and which part of me is going to heal. And I was talking to another performer a few days ago about how it's funny that we just get to dress up as part of our journey. Like we're dressing up for our jobs. That's such an incredible thing. And in that moment, we were talking about how that's kind of honoring the little me, like the little younger version of me in that. And I mean, I don't know what person I'm going to be healing next. Like I am my own muse, and maybe it's little me next time that draws me to some creativity on stage. We'll see. It's so exciting.
I am my own muse. Honestly, like I love that. I live by that too. Like we are our own inspirations. Follow the tune of your fucking heart. And that's how you stay authentic. That's how you stay organic. That's how you stay true to you. Fuck yeah. I am my own muse. Let's put that on a sticker.
Yeah, totally. Yes, you should. Yes, you should.
Oh, perfect.
Tell them at your shows.
It's awesome.
I really love that you like mentioned how the lines get blurred between the burlesque and like the sexualness of it all, like, and how really, you know, in actuality, it's a very like separate thing. Like you're truly like performing with the essence of whoever you are in that performance and like whoever you want to bring forward. Because I think a lot of times like people can perceive burlesque as like a truly you got to be a sexual being to be up on stage, or sensual being, you know, in touch with that side of you. And it's really empowering to hear that like your persona comes from somebody who is actually sexually traumatized a little bit. So it's like very cool to separate that line blur, you know, for people listening. Because I think a lot of times that can be the assumption, is that like you must be a sexually driven person, or, you know, natured person, which sure, maybe you are, I don't know, that's your own private life. But like also bringing up the fact that like it is a 15-year-old you that was actually a little sexually traumatized, and that's where this comes from. It makes it so very clear that it has nothing to do with that, and it has everything to do with just performing your hearts, performing your souls. And can you kind of talk a little bit about your evolution as like starting out as like the first, you know, burlesque exposure 2 or 3 years ago to like how you continue to evolve, like what that looked like for you?
Yeah, about I attended a show called Painted Black that Talent NB put on, a friend of mine, and it was like a Halloween themed burlesque. Halloween is my favorite day of the year. I love Halloween. I'm just obsessed. I've always just been a Halloween girly. So a friend of mine and I attended that show, and I remember before I attended that show, I had dropped all these beliefs about women, like these negative beliefs that society had tried to tell me about. You know, you have to be smart and thin and sexually appealing, and all of these types of ways that women are just put upon by this belief system. I had shed so much of that, and then I went to that show and saw just these beautiful, empowered women doing something that I had never seen before. And I remember sitting in the audience, and then just like the last shred of those belief systems just fell away. It just completely disappeared when I was in that audience. Like I was already on such a journey to let it go. And then there was another show, a Christmas show. I ended up working the ticketing that day, so I got to see another show. And about 6 months later, there was a call out for new performers to join a group act. So I applied, and that was my first time being on stage, was about 2 years ago. It was June 2 years ago. And I remember just not being very nervous. And the group of us together, we had worked so hard to do that group thing. And at the time I had no idea who my persona would become. But I remember this moment of just being on stage and like taking off my dress, like my top, and the audience just went crazy. And I had this insane flood of dopamine. I thought, I am just addicted to burlesque. I'm just addicted to that feeling of like this energy exchange with the crowd, just sharing something with them. And I have goosebumps thinking about it, like even right now. So that was everything to me. And I remember going in the audience and talking to all my friends saying, you should do burlesque, you should try this. And for a variety of reasons, people don't think that they can do it. You know, you're mentioning before about the energy people assume burlesque comes from, like hypersexual, but my journey is different. Everybody's journey is different. And I think anybody can do it if they wanted to. There's no real obstacles, like, or the obstacles people perceive they're not real. You don't have to be a certain body type. You don't have to be a certain age. You can be whoever you want. And that was such a life-changing moment for me. And I'm just so happy that I can do these shows and continue on with that energy exchange.
Thanks for speaking to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Number one, that's a liberation. That shedding, like you said, you were already doing the journey, but then when you were in there receiving the medicine, and as we refer back to Shady Sugar, talking about the stage is the medicine, our dance, our performance is the medicine. Yeah. You got that lasting bit of medicine, that boom just liberated you.
It did. It was a life-changing moment. And I have this toxic trait of trying to convince everybody they need to be a burlesque performer.
I'm here for it.
You should perform. You should perform. Come on, this is amazing. I feel like I have this key, and I want everybody to take this key. But maybe that's not the medicine they need. Maybe that's just not in their journey, or they'll get there eventually. Everybody has their own path. But I want everybody to know what that's like.
It truly is a magical experience, like being in and going into the tech run. Like that was my first, you talking about you not feeling nervous when I had met you the week prior and you were like, are you nervous? I was like, no, I'm not nervous at all. Tech run. Oh, that's where the nerves came. I was like, oh, whoa, what's happening here? Like it's it's powerful. I lost it. My main major point with that, but the tech run, the experience is really something magnetizing. It's something liberating. It's something like it's deep. And being in tech run gave me this new concept of like, oh yeah, I'm fucking in. I love this shit. And then getting on the stage and then all the background scenes of everything. It really is a empowering, magical experience. And I'm so excited to jump into it. And like, I'm here with you wanting to get everybody converted to burlesque because it is something fucking magical.
It is.
Let me offer a perspective from the audience. And, you know, the medicine that we receive in the audience, I think if you are open to receive it, like I felt like I received just as much medicine in that night of just like empowerment. Yeah. Shedding all the beliefs of like, and even an opportunity to look at the ways that I'm judging myself, you know? So and for me also, you know, just really being inspired that there were women that were like so comfortable in their skin, and whatever that journey was for them, I know it was big because it's like you said, society does not make it easy for us to feel comfortable in our skin. Even the most perfect, air quotes, body still probably scrutinizes themselves to some degree because that's what we are programmed as women to do. So it takes a lot of self-love and consciousness, and like having you all on stage was a great mirror for me to see the areas that I'm like, whoa, you're still so bigly judging yourself. Like, whoa, girl, like what the hell? You know, so it's so much medicine if the people, and I'd say I think even for the males in the audience, I think that there's medicine if they want to take it, you know, if you want to take the dose. So it's like we have the cabinet of medicine, and like I think that like there's like the stage medicine, like the performer, and then there's like the audience medicine. But I think it all is like very potent if you choose to have that perspective on life. I mean, not everybody does though, so you know that's the other piece of it. But I think if you choose to look at any experience with healing opportunity, like it's there, even in the audience. I was just like, that was my first burlesque show, and I was just like, oh my God, like what is going on here? I need to know. Like that's where this all birthed from. I was like, I want to meet these women. I want to hear the stories. I want to know who they are, because this is a big deal. This is a big deal. So it's huge. Yeah, the medicine is it's big. It's big all around it, really, I think. Anyways, that was a side tangent on that.
I love it. No, but I love
it. But yeah, just thank you for your recap of your journey. That is really cool. I think that's cool that you totally got that spark from that first interaction with it. I think that's cool. Have you ever performed in the past, like to any capacity? Like
when I was in high school, I was part of the drama club. I love drama, and we would tour other schools, and we put on a play that we had created. So, I mean, I did a little bit when I was in high school. But when I was, I don't know, maybe 17, 18, I used to just streak all the time, which is really funny. I forgot that I used to do that until my sister pointed it out. And I don't know why. I just always wanted to just take my clothes off and streak, but it was like nothing.
I love it.
Nothing sexual. It was just, I don't know. I felt free, or just part of the earth, or something. I think I need more time with that to uncover it. But yeah, I think I always really wanted to be a performer, and I didn't know in what capacity, because I didn't have any real insight into burlesque, and I don't have any theater training. I don't have any base that I thought I would need. I had none of that. So I went to a drag show once, and I saw these wonderful performers on stage, and thought, one day I want to get up there, but I don't know in what capacity. And here I am.
Wow.
And that's so fun, because it's like you're just allowing it to organically happen, authentically happen. And then boom, you get these glimmers, you get these lights. So viewers out there who are struggling to figure out what a glimmer is, it is that thing that lights you up. It is that thing that gives you chills, that makes you feel a little bit anxious or fearful, but then also a seeking to want to do those things. And that's what you did. You just let it happen organically, and that's really fun.
Yeah,
I'm really glad it was available to me. I'm glad it came to me, and I just feel so lucky to be part of that community. We're just a collection of weirdos, and we all love each other and take inspiration from each other. It's just so much fun.
Back to like Bethany saying empowering, it is empowering, because again, that first burlesque class I went to, and you and Shady and a bunch of others were there, it was just at the end, and we all had little solo parts where we can go do our thing, and everybody just started chanting each other's names. I was like, fuck, wow, this is empowering. This is a safe space. This is somebody that wants to see your shine, that wants to see your art. Not all places in the world, I've talked about this on an episode just prior, not all places are like this. So when you can find those people, when you can find those places where you can let your weirdo out, where you can let your spunk out, like we're all weirdos in our own capacity. And it's truly a liberating and empowering experience to be a part of.
I think
you go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think what I hear is that like there's no judgment, and no competition. So like oftentimes in the performer world, or the world of acting or theater, there's a level, and even professional dance, like there's a level of competition because you want to be the best, or like the most famous like movie stars. So there's that layer of competition where you guys are all just like, we got nothing to gain but our own medicine from this. So like, let's just like have, let it all fly, and appreciate it and love each other. And that is a truly special space to find. I think that's a really special space to find. And yeah, there's like that little girl in me that like is like, oh, I would love to do that. Like, I would just love to be backstage, just like
help out the next show.
Yeah, doing all the girl things. Like, it's just so fun. I mean, there's a little piece of me that like, I was like the awkward dancer as a kid, never felt right, in that scene. But like, there's still that little girl that wanted to feel that like sisterhood. And yeah, and even back then it was so different. Like now it would just be so nurturing, to be around a bunch of women that are just like loving on each other, and we're just all healing and healed and not. Yeah, it's just nice.
Thank you for tuning in to Collecting Consciousness.
We're so grateful that you've been on this journey with us so far.
And we look forward to seeing where we are going to expand, curate, and collect.
So if you haven't already liked, subscribed, or shared our content, and you feel called to do so, we would so deeply appreciate it. From our souls to your soul, and our hearts to your minds. We are collecting consciousness.
Yeah.
You should come and work the next show. Hang out
You
backstage.
Well,
Perform.
Yeah, Bethany, you could be a stagehand. But listen, Jacinda would 100% get you as a stagehand.
Oh yeah, we'll chit chat about it. I'll drop it. I'm totally down to come hang out behind the scenes. I'm totally down to just be a part of
New layer.
Totally a part of the love fest behind the scenes. I'd love it. I mean, I also would love to watch the show.
Well, the stagehands do watch the show, don't they, Amber? The stagehands were they get to watch the show, yeah. So you can do both, Bethany.
The girls doing the props.
Yeah.
They were running it. They were, I was like,
watching.
You guys were so important.
They did both, like they get that's the mix of both worlds. They get everything all set and ready, and they're picking things up, all the shit, but also they get to see it. So Bethany, let's
hey, keep it open. I'm down. I'm a hard worker. I'll be out there. I'll be like, projector. I'll be like, I got this.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I mean, we'll keep it as an opportunity, because I would love to. It is a magnetizing thing, I think, to be a part of. And I think there is that little girl in me that's like, oh, just to be a part of something so loving. And yeah. With
Bring her. The green room energy is, I love being on stage, but I also equally love just being in the green room and just hanging around these awesome people. And we're all helping each other out, sewing each other in our outfits, or loaning pasties, or just, it's so fun. It really, the little girl in you would just adore it.
Yeah.
Being behind stage, like I always wanted to dress up in drag. That's always been a dream of mine. And then as I was in the back room, just like observing everybody and chatting and connecting, I was like, oh my God, I'm on RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, we're doing our makeup and we're telling our deep stories of like where we were at this age and yada, yada, yada. I was like, I'm living it. Dream accomplished. I got it. And it's like, it's so, it really is magical. I was the person behind the scenes taking photos of everybody and doing videos, and that's just like that's my mom in me. But to me, like, those are special memories, like being in the back room, being in and watching that connection and that divinity just happening right before our eyes as we're about to go fucking shake our asses on stage. It's it's really so many layers of special just happening all around.
Yeah. Sweet. Court, do you have a little?
Yeah, I have a question. Yeah. So I just I'm curious, over these last couple of years of you doing burlesque, what has been your favorite performance to date?
Oh, that's tough. I'm gonna have to say the Halloween that just passed. I had this concept a few years ago about being a mortician with necrophilia for Halloween. I thought it would be just so fun to use this dead body as a sexual prop. So I did an act about 2 years ago as a mortician with necrophilia. And this year I elevated it a little bit, and I just had so much fun. I think I was in surgeon clothes, and like fully, like I was going to go up and embalm this body, but I ended up just taking its intestines out and using it as a boa and just.
Yes. Is there a video of that? I want to see a video of that.
Yeah,
is there a video?
I do have a video.
Oh, can you send it to us?
Yeah, I will. And I love just hearing the audience reaction to something like that, because they see somebody come out in surgeon clothes. They don't know what's going to happen. I'm going to go out and just start being really provocative as a surgeon, but then it just goes in a completely different direction. And I really am just, I love burlesque, like the really kind of dark burlesque that's based on gore. And I think I'm just driving straight into that persona, which I love. But yeah, I hearing the audience scream at me when I was doing that act was just everything. Just so much fun.
It really keeps people on their toes, like never knowing what to expect from you, but knowing that it's going to be something completely twisted, completely left field. So that's exciting to provide that to your fans, to the people.
Yeah, it was just great. I love them all for different reasons. That one stands out, though. I want to rework that act. I just keep coming back to that.
That's fun.
Like, I just keep returning to that.
That's fun, though.
I know. And an audience member came up to me after and said, I didn't know that I would be so into this, but I'm into necro now. I mean, not really, but just the concept of that was so exciting for them.
I also love that concept of that evolution, because you are, like, you know, we've said it before, and it's like we're continually changing. So your art, it's just new layers. And Pinky promised her performance that she just did was an elevation of her first ever performance. So it is really fun to be able to just see yourself. This is where I was, this is where I am, and this is where I'm going.
Yes. Yeah, it's awesome.
And like I said earlier, like, I think it speaks to, I think all of us have either a dark bit of us, a dark, huge portion of us, like, you know, it just depends on how in touch but there is, I mean, we are all fractals of one another, really. So I just think that you enliven that, and people, you know, and to different degrees, because some of us are like a little bit more comfortable with being in touch with that side of us, and some of us are really not. And so, but it's, I think it's in every single one of us. That's what I said to you at the end of the show. I was like, you totally like spoke to that piece of us that a lot of people don't want to pay attention to, but it's there. Like, it is there. And I love it. It's so cool. Yeah.
And that really goes back to that 15-year-old me, because when I was 15, I was a goth girl, and I loved that, like, horror movies. And now I'm not I don't watch horror movies. I love Halloween, but that's not exactly who I am right now. But just leaning back and just keep bringing that person forward. What would this person want? What would this version of me really love? And I get to do that. I get to just excite 15-year-old Amber. It's wonderful.
So fun.
Showing up for her. That's a really, really beautiful note to just like lean into, is when we just show up for our younger selves, because those are the ones that they fucking know what to do. They are rebellious. They are freeing, open little souls until, you know, there's that programming of society. But when we let that one out again, I really think that's like where our true selves really want to go.
Yeah, I agree.
I love that. So where are you going? What's going to be, can you give us any little hints of what Amber Oleander is cluing into?
Oh, well, there's an act that I really want to do. It's something that I was driving one day, and I asked 15-year-old me, what do you need? Just internally driving. And I created this entire act in my mind based on that person. And it'll take some time to really flesh out. So maybe in a year or two, I'll be doing it. But I was looking at, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I can't think of the word, but when you're looking at like unicorns or harpies or mythological creatures, I was thinking of them and like what a cool cultural thing that is. So I did some light research into that, and I thought about doing an act where I was a harpy, but it would be Amber walking, and the voices, like the audio, would be about people screaming things at this person, like negative things about women, like whore or blah blah. and then transforming into a harpy and basically like tearing apart that. So it's kind of like tearing apart like the patriarchy, but tearing apart these negative beliefs we have about ourselves. And I just can't wait to do that. It's really new. It's just in my head right now, but I hope one day I get to perform that on stage and just have these massive wings and just come out and terrorize the people that would say or do stuff like that.
So number one, what is a harpy?
It's a mythical creature that is a woman with wings and like an eagle head.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Oh, cool.
I mean, harpies have been in different areas of mythology, so I couldn't tell you exactly where it began, but I love the look of that, like a female type creature with these giant talons and wings that could just tear apart the patriarchy. Tear apart the patriarchy.
Yeah, and that was my next thing. It's like number two, it's a concept. It's not just a dance. It's not just a inspiration through this mythological creature. It is another layer to the thing, breaking down patriarchal society, breaking down these concepts that you're a whore, you're a slut, you're this if you do that. And it's like, and then it's a deprogramming and getting you to just be this magical being, this be anything that you want to be without the construct. So, and then going back, it then heals your fucking 15-year-old self again. Yeah. It's just like layer after layer after layer after. It's a true art. It's a true lean in. What, like, you know, when you're going to an art gallery and you have three people looking at this one piece of art and you're just breaking it all down, and it's like, what's the message you're receiving? What's the message you're getting? It's so layered. I love that. I love that art of yours.
Yeah, I can't do anything without being 100% authentic. And if it just doesn't feel 100% authentic to me and what I'm trying to create, I can't do it. So a lot of my concepts are really well thought out and deep, and it comes from some place in me that needs it at that time. And I just, the process is so exciting too, because I learn a lot about who I am and who I was and what I need. And I love it.
Music to my ears. Are you like a night creator? Are you like a creator of any time? Do you find that your inspiration comes from in the dark? And like, where are you creating your dance? Let me get a little bit specific. Where are you creating your dances, and how are you creating them? Are they taking quite some time? So I'll leave with those three little questions.
Okay. Good questions. My inspiration 99% of the time comes when I'm driving, which is so fun. I love just driving and being like leaving my family, going on a drive on my own and just putting on Spotify music. And sometimes a song will come on and it will give me an idea. I may not even use that song, but it comes on and I think about, oh, what could that be? Like, what is this song trying to tell me? Just really diving into the lyrics of music. So, and then oftentimes I'll come up with an idea when I'm driving and I have almost all the choreo fleshed out in my head in an instant. And if I don't, then I come home and I print the lyrics and I look at cues in the words and just pick on, I don't know, one of the acts I did talked about grabbing your hair. And I thought, well, that's a good time to take out my hair clip and flip my hair. So I use those lyrics to do that. But yeah, driving, everything comes to me creatively when I'm driving.
It's meditative. You're very focused. In a way, you're very focused on one sole thing, and it's not like, and so therefore you can be. It's a meditative act. It really is. We don't think of it that way, but I think driving is very meditative. Yeah. That's cool.
And then I have the room I'm in right now is actually my rehearsal space. So it's a gym and a rehearsal space. So I'll come in and set things up. And my kids, I homeschool my children now, but for a while they were in public school. So I would drop them off to school and then come home and just play in front of the mirror and just go through the routine or play the music and just vibe with what I'm feeling.
And with that, so like you're allowing yourself just to create your dances Are you also doing going to any dance studios in the city, or any, like I saw you at that one workshop? Are you dabbling in that avenue at all to create inspiration?
Not currently. I did take some heels choreo classes at the studio, and I used to do pole there and hoop and other things, but I feel like that's separate because that's me. Mm-hmm. So I really have a hard time using me and then my persona. Like the creativity is always my persona. Like it's Amber Oleander telling me these things every time. But if I go to the studio and I'm hanging out with those people, that's not Amber Oleander. But for some reason, I don't cross those.
Oh, cool.
Interesting. Bethany, there's a little connection with the thread, referring to Shady Sugar. You'll hear it. Her episode launches next week. Well, it'll be already launched. Anyways, point being, that's what she talked about. It's her ego, her alter
ego.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Coming forward, alter ego. There we go. Yeah, coming forward and being like, do this, have this. So there's a little thread. We're trying to find the common thread for all the performers. So here's one little thread, guys.
Yeah. I had another one earlier that I just totally forgot, and I'll remember it when I listen to this again. But yeah, I felt like there was so much depth, but there was also this common thread that must tie you all together too. So I've been just like really curious, like what are those threads? Like, were you all performers before? Are you on this healing journey? Like what what is there? So it's really fun to hear similar concepts and ideas and inspirations between everybody. It's cool. Yeah.
I'm excited to hear and watch them all because I want to know, or do we all come from the same place? It's so exciting.
Yeah, totally. It really is. And like Bethany said earlier, it's been really fun just diving in, hearing everyone's stories, because there's difference, but there's similarities, like same, but different. And I just think that there's really potent messages that have been coming out and inspirations. And it all comes back to just, if something is giving you that light, and you feel a spark, go into it, because like that's your body, that's your heart, that's your soul, that's your authenticity wanting to be shared. Number one, thank you so much for sharing your authentic energy with us. It really is something so potent for people to live in, because there still are lots of constructs that people are still not being authentic, that there's masks on and there's people pleasing and layers you can go down. But when you show up as your authentic self, it allows other people to show up as themselves too, creating no judgment, and just we're beautiful beings. Like, we're all beautiful beings. So can we just start letting ourselves be ourselves? That's the message I want to say.
Yeah, I agree. I love that.
Yeah. And another thing, is there anything on your heart space that you want to get out to your fans, that you want to get out to these viewers? What lies on your heart of a message to give to people?
Probably just layering on what you just said about being your authentic self. And if a person wants to get into performing, just do it. Just write and just try your best and join the community. Or you could be near it in gathering tips, or being a stagehand, attending shows, promoting it. Like, there's different ways to kind of connect with performance without actually being on stage if someone's not ready, because it may not be their journey. But yeah, being your authentic self just brings so many more opportunities. And I know for myself, when I just shed all that stuff a few years ago, just opportunity after opportunity came to me. And now I can clearly see when something is misaligned, because I know what it's like to be aligned with something and to feel really good about that journey. And now I can see very clearly, this doesn't suit me. This isn't what's right for me right now. So it's just uncovering that internal feeling, like you're mentioning, that the feeling you get inside of you becomes just louder.
Mm. Yes.
On that, you just stirred up something for me on that, like where we, we all talk about being in alignment, and it's like a big concept out there for, spiritual community, whatever you want to say. It's a big concept for people. And I think what you just spoke to is really key. It's like, when you do have those experiences that are so in alignment, it's like your nervous system actually gets like activated and maybe comfortable with those things that may feel fearful, but now your nervous system is learning, but if I do that thing, I feel so rewarded and it's okay and it's safe. Like you just made that all kind of click for me in a way that I'd never really like thought about it before on a visceral level, because I like concepts, I like ideas, I like the headiness of things, but it's cool because our bodies are so also driving the ship. And we have to really respect that, like, you know, we have to respect the body in the process. And so it's like, yeah, what you just spoke to, it's like when you do those things that are in such alignment, and then your nervous system recognizes like, this is okay, I got the dopamine hit, it's all good, we're good, like it's there, the chemicals are releasing, then it makes it easier the next time that you have to make that choice for your nervous system to say yes and your body to say yes, you know, because our minds might want to say yes, but our bodies hold us back, our nervous systems hold us back. So that's really cool. I just kind of like put that together when you said that, how that can unfold for you if you do things in alignment and have that visceral reaction. Because I think you've received that in this community. Is this like you mentioned the dopamine release, like you got that like thing in your system that now it recognizes those opportunities and those experiences. So
that just kind of reminds me of what it's like. I know we were talking about tech run earlier. When you're doing tech, I never feel good after tech run. I think a lot of people have that same experience where they just overthink or think, well, I missed my cue, and you don't feel good after tech run. But I think, you know, you're speaking a little bit to what you're saying is that you have no choice but to go through it. Because if you do a tech run and it doesn't feel good, you still have to get on stage. Like you still have to just walk through that feeling, and then walking through that feeling and just finally getting yourself on stage, talking yourself up, or whatever people need to do for their process to do it, just walking through that feeling. And then, as you mentioned, the next time it doesn't feel as scary.
mm-hmm.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I wanted to bring that up, but I was waiting for like organic, and then you did. So you had like, when you had made a comment, and there was a couple others behind in the green room that said, when you don't have a great tech run, you know it's going to be a great show. There's that like flip to it. There's that energy to it. And I like what you said. You still have to get out you still have to get out there. You're still doing it. So let it just unfold the way it's going to unfold, and roll with the punches. And the body, we're all capable beings.
So fun. So I guess in wrapping this up, are we kind of looking that way? Yeah. Is there anything that you want to share outside of the burlesque world, or we can keep it truly like just in the burlesque world, or anything you want to share about, you know, if I don't know what you're into, and if you have anything you want to shamelessly plug, here's your opportunity. But you know, if you don't, we can just keep it as Amber Oleander, and that's fine too. So just, you know, space is yours if you have anything you want to mention, or.
I don't have anything to plug right now. Perfect.
That's fine. That's just absolutely beautiful. This is so much fun. I was really looking forward to this interview. Yeah. So thank you so much for just sharing your potent message, being comfortable, sharing the vulnerability that comes with, you know, sexual assault, and just the journey of honoring your 15-year-old self. That's so precious and amazing. And just a really fun thing for everybody to play with, because I think we go back to our childhood. I thought about that too, and I'm like, wow, what if I'm time to go back to, though, like our teenage self, like our teens, like that's when we were, like Courtney said, we were totally like free spirits that knew who we wanted to be, and then maybe got led astray. I know I did, but anyways, yeah. So that's very cool, and I really appreciate this conversation, and thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for giving myself and others the venue to speak about it.
On to the elevation.
Yes, it's happening.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm just going to say a little thank you as well, Amber. It's been really awesome starting this journey of getting to know you. I knew when I first met you in Shady, I was like, oh, these are going to be my gals. And I feel very intrigued, and I feel very safe already with you guys. And it's just really, I'm excited to see where it's going to go, and what other performances we're going to be doing together, and, you know, little photo shoots or this and that. So it's thank you so much for getting on and giving us your time, your energy, and your space.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You're welcome. All right, guys. Stay tuned. This series is going to continue going. We still have some more performers lined up. So tune into the old episodes to hear the other burlesque dancers, performers' stories. And we will see you next week. Until then, bye, guys.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.